Yola Tango from the Sounds of Science here on WXNA LP Nashville. You're listening to the Continental this morning. I am DJ Rhatfink. Good morning, Nashville and world. And how about those world champions last night? I'm a little tired this morning. Have to admit I was up late watching that Cubs-Indians game last night. It was that was a nail-biter of a game. I'll tell you, if you were going to say, here is baseball in a game to someone who didn't watch baseball and they watched that game, they would be converted. Because that was some great baseball last night. So, tip of the hat to the Cubs, ending that 108-year losing streak of getting to the World Series and winning the World Series. That was amazing. A great game. Hope you were able to enjoy it. And then some of you may be a little tired also. Of course, the CMAs were last night. I have no idea what happened at the CMAs last night, other than I tuned in briefly and saw Whisperin' Bill Anderson giving the shout-out to Carrie Underwood. And for me, that was enough. That was enough. There was Bill Anderson, and I was happy. And I went back to my baseball game. So, that's one contest ended, the World Series. And yet, we have one more contest in front of us. Of course, next Tuesday will be Election Day. And I'm not here to tell you how to vote. I'm just telling you that you should vote. And that's what we're doing today. We're going to be talking about elections, voting, presidents. It's going to be a fun 2 hours. So sit back in your car. Don't go into work today. Just stay in the car. Stay at home. Listen to WXNA all day long. And let's get things started. So back in 1988, when George Herbert Walker Bush was running for president, this is a song that he used on the campaign trail. This is Woody Guthrie. This Land is Your Land, here on WXNA. And you're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental, and I am DJ Rhatfink. In that last set, we just heard Mighty Arrow, Politician's Prayer. Before that, Staple Singers gave us Something Ain't Right. And of course, that's correct. It wasn't right. It was actually supposed to be Washington, We're Watching You. Kind of fitting in with our political thing. But hey, it's still a great song. Staple Singers, can't beat them. Before that, Neil Diamond, America. And then starting things off at the start of the set, Woody Guthrie, This Land is Your Land. Of course, that was used by George Herbert Walker Bush on his campaign trail back in 1988, as was Neil Diamond's America by Michael Dukakis in the same election year. So there you go. A couple of interesting campaign songs. Speaking of campaign songs, you say, DJ Rhatfink? Why, yes. How about Abraham Lincoln? Did he have a campaign song? Well, yes, he did. It was called Lincoln and Liberty. And here it is, done by the Union Confederacy, here on WXNA. And that was Leadbelly doing the Roosevelt song here on WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I'm DJ Rhatfink, and we're doing our Election Day special. A few days in advance, of course, but today is the last day that you can early vote. So if you have the opportunity and you have not done so, might I recommend taking some time today, go vote. Exercise your rights. Before Leadbelly, though, we had Johnny Cash doing Mr. Garfield, Rocky Erickson, Song to Abe Lincoln, and starting things off in that last set was the Union Confederacy doing Lincoln and Liberty, which was Abraham Lincoln's campaign song back in 1860. And kind of looking at like the Lincoln song and the Garfield song, again, kind of going back to voting. If you disagree with the way things are being run, don't take it into your own hands with violence. Vote. Vote, folks. That's the way you get things done. That's how you make change. You vote. And you know how else you can make change? You can do things like Josh May. We're going to thank Josh May. He took things in charge when we were doing our fundraiser. And gosh, we appreciate it. Thank you, Josh May, for supporting WXNA. We vote with our wallets. He voted with his. He said, I like WXNA, and we like you, Josh. Thank you. All right. So, campaign songs. I love them. Here's FDR's campaign song from 1932. This is a particularly interesting version, all pretty much done with a harp orchestra. This is Robert Maxwell. Happy Days are here again on WXNA.
More information at boomboxnashville.com.
And you're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I am DJ Rhatfink, and we're in the midst of the election special. Vote America. That's what I'm saying today. I don't care who you vote for. You just need to get out there and vote. Today is, of course, the last day for early voting before the actual election on Tuesday. So make room in your schedule. If you haven't gotten out to vote, go do it. That's right. In that last set, though, we heard J.B. Lenoir doing Eisenhower Blues. And then for a little bit of a counterpoint of an opinion on Eisenhower, we had the Mighty Zebra, We Like Ike. Chicago, Harry Truman. And then we had Willie Eason doing Franklin D. Roosevelt, A Poor Man's Friend from the Sacred Steel album. And starting things off in that set was another FDR song. It was his campaign song in 1932, Happy Days Are Here Again, by Robert Maxwell, featuring his harps and his orchestra. So lovely. Okay, so sometimes, of course, we're doing a lot of presidential songs. Presidents dying, presidents getting elected. Sometimes it's just, talking about a president, maybe before he was the president. Here's Jimmy Dean doing PT 109 here on WXNA.
Use them every year.
You're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I am DJ Rhatfink. It's our Get Out the Vote special this week. In that last set, starting off, you heard Jimmy Dean doing PT 109 about JFK and his experiences during World War II. Of course, that was released in 1962, a year before, of course, JFK was assassinated. After that, though, was the SW Texas State College Band doing the President Johnson March, with a nice little vocal there. After that, David Fry gave us Dick Nixon's Solid Gold. And then we had Bruce Hack with Michael Buckley doing First Lady. And then rounding things out there at the top of the hour was Brownie Johnson, Election Day, which is, of course, Tuesday. And today is the last day for early voting. So get out the vote, folks. Go vote. I don't care who you vote for. Just vote. You can't complain if you don't try and do something about it. And the best way you can do something about it is vote. Right on. Here's Johnny Cash. The one on the right is on the left here on WXNA. Support for WXNA is provided by The Country, serving a cocktail menu featuring locally distilled spirits and a full food menu featuring Southern-inspired pub fare. The Country is located just off West End at 110 28th Avenue North. More information and their live music calendar can be found at thecountrynashville.com. You're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I am DJ Rhatfink. It's our Get Out the Vote special. Woohoo! Hope you voted already. If you have not, again, today is the last day for early voting. Take a long lunch today. Hey, boss, I need to go vote, because today's the last day for early voting. Tuesday's the big election. Don't care who you're voting for. Just get out there and vote, folks. Let's be American and vote. Yes, it's what we've earned. In that last set, bit of a bookend, Johnny Cash gave us I Won't Back Down. That was featured on George W. Bush's 2000 campaign. Not that version necessarily. I think the Tom Petty version was probably the one they were using, but, I really like the Johnny Cash one. Before that, Fleetwood Mac, Don't Stop. That was, of course, Bill Clinton back in 1992. He used that on his campaign. Justin Levine and Benjamin Walker gave us The Hunters of Kentucky. That's a really fascinating one. That was actually Andrew Jackson. He used that on his campaign in 1824 and 1828. Chris Rhatfink, you say, hey, man, but that was kind of rock and roll. Right. So there was a Broadway musical called Bloody Bloody Andrew Jackson, where Andrew Jackson was portrayed as an emo rocker. And that was what they closed the show with, The Hunters of Kentucky. I really like that. It's really cool. And before that, the Ramones' Bonzo Goes to Bitburg, a little bit of commentary from the Ramones, not known for a lot of commentary, but a little commentary from them on Ronald Reagan. And then starting things off, like I said, it was a bookend set. We had Johnny Cash. The one on the right is on the left. Well then, let's get back to some music. Bob Dole, when he was running for president in 1996, Bob Dole was a soul man. Well, actually, he was a Dole man. But then he got one of Sam and Dave to do Dole Man for him. Well, I don't want to hear that. Let's hear Soul Man here on WXNA. Support for WXNA is provided by Clausen's Pub and Deli. Located in Wedgwood, Houston, Clausen's is open for breakfast on weekdays and for lunch, Monday through Saturday, serving sandwiches, sides and salads, and over 80 kinds of beer. Now supporting Nashvillians in need with their hashtag BringChangeNashville initiative. More at Clausen'sPub.com. You're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I am DJ rhatfink, and it is a Get Out the Vote special. Today, of course, is the last day of early voting. Tuesday's the election, so what are you doing? Go vote. That's what I'm saying. In that last set, that was Casey Jones, Donald Trump's hair. Of course, that was recorded back in 2009, before he was a blip on the presidential campaign. Before that, James Brown, Funky President. While that was not an official song for President Obama, gosh, shouldn't it be? Funky President, yeah. And then starting things off in that last set, Sam and Dave gave us Soul Man, which of course Bob Dole used on his campaign trail back in 1996 and changed it to Dole Man. Right on, Bob Dole. Okay, so let's go back to some music. Here is Simon and Garfunkel doing America, which was recently featured in the campaign by Bernie Sanders. So, great song. Here we go on WXNA. Support for WXNA is provided by the East Nashvillian, a bi-monthly magazine covering the music, art, culture, and personalities that make Nashville eccentric. Copies are available at over 100 Nashville area businesses, including the Family Wash, Garage Coffee, and Marathon Village. The East Nashvillian, where East-centric is a state of mind. More at theeastnashvillian.com. You're listening to WXNA LP Nashville. This is the Continental. I am DJ rhatfink. Starting off that last set, we had Simon and Garfunkel doing America. Then came X, The New World. And then, of course, this being our Get Out the Vote special this week, maybe you're not happy with the choices that are out there. So here's some alternative choices for you. There was Buddy Max, Vote for Me for President. My name is Buddy Max. I think one of my favorite platforms that Buddy had was free parking. Free parking. That's right, Buddy. Thank you. And then Zachary for President. And of course, John Zachary just passed away last week. Longtime horror host and DJ. He will be missed. Okay. Who else could we vote for president? Well, how about Bobby Rush? Let's see what he has to say about running for president.